How tall is Steve? Steve is, what, 6 feet tall?
6 even, yeah.
Okay, 6 feet tall. And I am 5'10". How old were you when you met your husband? I was 18. And I know people have made comments about, was it legal when we met and all this? Yes, it was legal. Whatever, yeah, it was legal. I was 18 years old. Steve had just turned 29. How come you decided to have one kid after another? Do you think it will be difficult to raise two together? We decided to have one after another because we have siblings that are close in age to us. Steve has a brother Matt's what, just over a year younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just over a year younger. And then he has another brother that's 2 years younger.
Yeah, 10.
And then he has a brother who's 10 years younger. I have one brother he is a year and 19 days younger than me. So we are very close in age. And we both liked having a sibling that's close in age. You kind of grow up together. You grow up at the same stages. And you have some of the same friends. And I think it's nice. We liked that. We liked the experience. So we wanted that for our kids to kind of grow up having not only a friend when they're older, but also having a friend to grow up with. Do you think it would be difficult to raise two together?
Mm-mm.
Yes, of course. I think it's difficult to raise one child. Anyone who says it's not difficult is lying, because it is difficult. Certain, not saying all of it's difficult, but it is difficult. It's difficult to raise one child. Raising two children will be difficult, but I'm sure it will be lots of fun, and we will love the experience. But I'll let you know when we have two how it's going. Do you live close to other family members who can help you when you have the baby? Well, this is something that's been brought up in all of it. We haven't really ever talked about this. Steve's mom and stepdad live in Alberta, and of course we live in British Columbia, so that's a province away. So it's about a 13-hour drive. So are they close by to help? No. If we need, when they are around, they do help. If we go there, they do help. Yes. And then Steve's dad and stepmom live in North Vancouver. They live probably, about 5-minute drive from us, 10-minute drive, something like that, very close by. And they have helped us on occasion. And I won't go into much more detail than that. And then my dad he lives in Tsawwassen, which to North Van is about, an hour away? Yeah, it's about an hour away. It depends on traffic, but it's about an hour away. But he has a girlfriend that lives on Vancouver Island. She lives in Parksville. So he also lives there part of the time as well, and he will be moving there once he sells his house. So, my dad kind of helps him when I can, but I don't know. I don't know if some dads I know are fantastic and they're wonderful with helping and things, and my dad does help when he feels that he can and in ways that he can, but as far as helping me all the time, no, he's not able to do that. So, do we have family that can help with the baby all the time? No. Do we have friends who help with the baby all the time? No. Do we have much help with Eva right now, or will we with Mila? No. Which is difficult. It is difficult. Did you gain weight with your first baby? Yes, I did. I think everyone gains weight when they're pregnant. So when I was pregnant with Eva, I think I gained about 17 pounds, and I gained more at the very end, but it was completely just water weight. As far as how much weight difference was I before I was pregnant, before I had Eva, to what I was after I had Eva and I lost pretty much the weight, I would say there was about a 5-pound difference. Do you agree? Yeah, about 5 pounds. But I don't know. I was maybe a little bit too skinny before I had Eva, so just like slightly curvier after. So nothing I was too worried about. How did I lose the weight and how long did it take? Well, of course I didn't lose that 5 pounds. That 5 pounds pretty much stayed there. As far as losing the weight, yeah, I did do some exercise and dieting and stuff, but not a lot. Good genes played into a lot of how I looked after I had Eva. Is it hard being alone with a toddler when your hubby is away so much and therefore you have to do everything for yourself? Yes, it is. It is hard. But you know, it's hard. Yes, it's hard because my husband isn't one of the husbands that goes to work at 9 and comes home at 6 or however that works. Goes to bed or goes to work at 8 and then comes home at 6 o'clock and we have dinner and get the baby ready for bed together. Yeah, it's not like that. But you know, you get used to it and that's the way that it is. And I don't want to sit here and complain about it because it's not like I feel like I have a horrible life or anything, and I don't want people to think that I'm not happy with how that it is or to feel sorry for me because this is just the way that it is. And I accepted that. I signed up for that when I married Steve. When I was with Steve, I always knew that this is what my life would be like, was being with Steve. So that's fine. Is Eva going to share a room with her sister? Well, yes and no. No, probably. Because for the first 6 months, Steve and I believe in keeping the baby in the bedroom, like with our bedroom, co-sleeping with the baby or having the baby in the bassinet for the first 6 months. And by then we are planning to move, and I'm sure we will move. We're going to be buying a house because currently we are renting. Steve owned a condo. Before, when I first met Steve, he owned a condo. And unfortunately, we, of course, outgrew that when we had Eva. So we had to move. So we moved into somewhere that we could rent temporarily until we could afford to buy something else. And then, of course, sell the condo. So, yes and no. Mila's things will be in Eva's room, but will Eva and Mila sleep in the same room? No. When we move into a house, will they sleep in the same room? No, they'll have separate rooms. We won't buy a house that they won't be able to have separate rooms in. Okay, I hope this isn't too personal, but how do you and your hubby manage your finances with one kid and another on the way? You seem to be doing very well. I have a child as well, and my husband works, and I'm a student and a stay-at-home mom, so it's very hard to manage everything, rent, bills, etc. How do you do it? Well, Steve has a very good job. I'm not going to say like how much money Steve makes or anything like that. If you look, you can look it up how much money approximately Steve will make, and you could find out. But he has a good job, and you know, we have good health benefits. Like our benefits, 100% medical and dental benefits, so that definitely helps. As far as like Steve and I don't go out and like spoil ourselves and buy stuff all the time. Like special occasions or like we set times when we can kind of prepare that we are going to go out and buy things for ourselves. Because, most of the time we prioritize and that, as long as all the bills are paid and everything and we spoil Eva as much as we can, if we need something, we go out and buy it. Or if we want to go out for dinner or we want to go and do something together that's just the two of us, then we do it. But we don't we don't like to live like too beyond our means or anything like that. So as far as like, how do we, I don't even really know how to answer that. I don't know. I guess it's just like we are careful with money. I'm careful with money. I don't just like go out and spend money frivolously or whatever, and to save money like for Eva's clothes and things like that. Like I buy clothes ahead of time when I see like things that I like that are on sale and I buy them, and it makes it easier when she actually becomes that size because I already have a lot of things. So there's lots of things like that we do. And like, saving money for certain occasions and things and prioritizing things, that's how we kind of get by. What are your favorite things to do for fun besides being a mommy? Well, I don't have much time to not be a mommy, but when I do, I like to go out with go out and do things with our friends, go and do things with Steve, movies, and go to the beach, and I used to like to go and play tennis, and I used to do yoga and stuff like before I really even met Steve, and exercise and run and do all that stuff. Shopping, all the normal girly stuff. Go to the spas, get my nails done, do my hair, all that stuff. But, it becomes a little bit difficult when you're a mom, and we don't have a lot of help. And with Steve being gone, it makes it more difficult. Are you disappointed you won't have more than 2 children? Is there any chance of having more than 2, or is it a set no? It's mostly a set no. Is there a chance? Of course there's a chance. One day I might convince him to have a third. I don't know. We have talked about having a third baby, but if we were to have a third baby, I would like to think that there would be a little bit of a gap. Maybe a year. Well, I guess, yeah. I don't know. We'll come to that when after we have Mila. Does baby Mila have her own room? So currently, as we've mentioned, no, she doesn't have her own room, but she will have her own room. How did you meet your husband, and was it love at first sight? We met, as we've said in other videos, we met on Plenty of Fish, which is a dating website. Was it love at first sight? No. But yeah, saying that it wasn't love at first sight, Steve and I moved in together after about a month. Yeah, about a month. So it wasn't love at first sight, but we knew that it wasn't not a serious thing from the beginning. It was serious, or at least I thought it was serious. Steve, I think it did too. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked me to live with him. Okay, so could you explain your miscarriage, if it's not too difficult to talk about? Like how long you waited to try again, how you dealt with it, and if you tried, if you were put off trying again. As far as the miscarriage goes, from what was explained to me by my doctor was that I had a chemical pregnancy. I don't really know very much about it. It was quite early on. I spotted the entire pregnancy. Yes, it is difficult for me to talk about, but I was 18 years old when I became pregnant, and it was at the beginning of my relationship with Steve. Were we set up to have a baby? No. At 18 years old, was I set up to be a parent? No. Would I have done it? Absolutely. It's harder for me now because I have a child now. Like, the idea of me having a miscarriage now is, it's really scary to me, and it's like a horrible thought, and I just can't imagine now going through it. But at the time, I guess, because I really didn't feel prepared, and I didn't feel like it was the right time, even though I was, was happy to have a baby, and I was happy with Steve, and Steve was happy to have the baby. It just wasn't the right time. So that's kind of how I dealt with it a little bit, because I just kept reminding myself maybe this is just it's meant to be like this. So that's how that is, I guess. As far as dealing with it, that's how it was. As far as trying for another baby, we did try to have another baby afterwards, and then we stopped for quite a long time because we decided that, I guess we wanted to enjoy each other. And we both kind of had always thought that if we did have kids, or when we had children, that we would be married to the person, or be in a very serious relationship, or have our own house, and all these things. We'd be more set up. So we waited for a while. And then when we actually did get pregnant with Eva, it was a surprise. Not unwanted surprise, but it was definitely a surprise. It was definitely shocking. How many kids do you all plan on having? Y'all, I love that. We plan on having 2, maybe 3. Do you do everything as far as the house and Eva goes, or do you both equally help out, like cooking, cleaning, bathing Eva, etc.? Of course, when Steve's at work, it's solely me who does all of that stuff. But when Steve's at home, yes, I do cook. Mostly I do most of the cooking, but if I ever ask Steve for help, he's always willing to help me. cleaning goes, most of the cleaning I do, but Steve is always going around cleaning things and helping me clean things. And again, if I ask him to help, he will. Bathing Eva, taking care of Eva, feeding Eva, all of these things I would say is equal. Steve is fantastic with Eva and helps me out tremendously when he's at home. So then when he is at home, it really makes, for all the time that we don't have together, it really makes that time together special. And we do make that time important and make it so, like a lot of people say, like, how do you do it? Like, does it affect your relationship? Yeah, it does affect your relationship, but for us, it affects our relationship positively. Just because, you don't have a lot of time together, but then when you do, you can really appreciate the time you have together. You don't, like, we don't sit around and complain to each other all the time. It's like we have to enjoy the time we have together because we don't have that much. So, I'm kind of blabbering on now, and this is going to be a really long video. But anyway, that's it for questions. Again, if you have more questions that you would like answered, please put them below. And thank you so much for watching.